They still have to move, and this is a team that I have a lot of sights on as well. I was talking about Bumboy coming over from NA West, kind of one of those, you know, those imports as well. We saw how well Sent and Edgy could do with that. Bumboy now trying to make the same trip as well. Been here for a little while now. Didn't kind of make big waves at the start, but honestly, I feel like he's not making big waves, but he's making constant waves. He is playing so consistently every time. I check a Cash Cup, I check a leaderboard for DreamHack, I check anything. He's like top 10 almost every time, but he just needs that big performance to really step out and make a name for himself. And 51 points so far, that's not bad at all. That puts him securely inside the top 10 if they can keep up this pacing. They've lost Cloud, but this loadout's looking good enough to try and make something happen out of this game.
And Suscript as well. Suscript's really been popping off here, playing in the solo spotlights and honestly putting in the practice right at the ground levels. Those are the kind of players that you really want to keep an eye on for, and that's why I like players like Chimp. I like players like Tabney that have really putting in that groundwork, putting in the effort to play everything and anything possible at the best plays possible, right? At the anything that they can do. Bumboy now gets this team to come down, and yes, it's gonna be Spade. Oh, the big Spade who gets taken out there, and this duo's up above. They're starting to see if they can hunt for it, and yes, the loot is free. It's safe. They pick it up.
They managed to get them down. I like that topic you had there about the practice as well. It's interesting because players have different strategies. Like I said, Mars just pretty much just maining Arena all day, every day, and that's what lets him be one of the best players in the world. But you have other people, obviously like Tayson out of EU, arguably or unarguably one of the best players in the world, in my opinion, and he pretty much says his key to practice is just playing any practice scene you can. Just play as many customs and different games as you can to just get the experience in lobbies that look anything like this. So different strategies coming out here as we have Zexro, competitive veteran. We hyped him up as making it into round 4, and he's like, hey, me making round 4 is not that big of a deal. Why are you singling me out? I'm still one of the best in this region. I'm not just gonna make round 4, I'm making it straight into semi-finals, and they're in a good spot to do so.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot more elims. They'll definitely make up for their game 1 and 2s. 30 points is pretty decent, though, halfway in. And yes, they are below the surge. 14 players have to go down. 17 seconds remain. They might have to actually give up height. And honestly, this might be a blessing in disguise. The RPG coming out. If they get contested here, this could be the perfect time to find the tags that they need. It's up to Zexro now to find his shot, to land it. No, he whiffs the first one. Someone who's known for the accuracy and the aim here. He's going to get bested by Chaotic on the other side, who's popping off. And there it is. Chaotic's going to find someone there. Zexro now under pressure. And there he finally falls. Glace is all
Zexro
that's
goes
left.
down. But Chaotic took down the rocket. There it is. He took down the teammate that mattered. That's the player you needed to take out. Yes, Zexro has fallen, but at the same time, Chaotic has now gotten his hands on the rocket launcher as is Crunchy and Narwhal are on the high ground. So Chaotic and Glacier beneath them, looking like they can try and make something happen. They've still got 5 rockets left, and Chaotic's looking to try and use them. They're not held up by a lot, but you need to be careful. The more you break this out, the more you break out kind of your own foundations as well. And I think they do have the high ground. No, they're still battling for it. High ground doesn't normally look like this. They had it so well reinforced, but they just couldn't apply the pressure from beneath. When you see a top tier team on high ground, they make it look easy. You just don't realize they're applying that constant pressure to stop things like that from happening. Elite Crunchy jumping up off the bounce pad with the big shot, and now they're being contested. You talked about people making statements for high ground, Monster. Everyone wants to make a statement today.
Yeah, and these are not teams you normally see fight for height. Zexro will fight for height, so very interested to see him to pull it off with Glacier, but even then, it just didn't last long enough. They just didn't have the firepower to hold it out. It's a new team on height. Al2, Villets, and Alex here, who have the high ground. Narwhal and Crunchy come on down to the low. They're in the mids now, second height. They're going to have to battle their way down. And honestly, with how quick this team snatched up height, you can see that they want to maintain it. They have the ammunition to do it, but the mats are not quite there.
Yeah, the material's not quite there. They're going to need a zone to pull back, or maybe if one of them has the harpoon, the utility to grab some of that loot, or they can drop down. I mean, they've got the epic assault rifle. That's a lot of damage. That should hopefully get them some refreshes, but I'm looking at really only Colazo, Class, and D-Roller as one of our top tier teams in this monster. I think they're running away with it. They're in second place. They came into this game on 108. DGen, Ages, and Skittles in first on 125. It looks like D-Roller, Class, and Colazo want to have their big day. A lot of people joked about it. They played in the FNCS warm-up that obviously, you know, practice scene put on, and they came first, and everyone talks about the practice curse. Whether you win warm-up, do you then lose in FNCS? But no, they might be able to come away with not just top 10 but first place here.
Yeah, not only that, TK still finds one alive as well. That's the console lord that we talked about. I think this is it. He's going to get wrapped up right there by Minish. Rokane now is going to sweep someone up under the rug. It's going to be F there who gets fallen out. Rokane now use this harpoon. Got to break through these walls here. It's the perfect way to keep your momentum up and keep going, but he gets greeted by Colazo in the low, and now it's Colazo D-Roller against the high ground team. Oh no, Alex takes a lot of fall damage. That could be a toss-up for the team. Remember, this siphon is going to be crucial now.
I don't know if they're going to go for the heal off. Ael's got that epic tactical shotgun, applies so much constant pressure, but no, Colazo drops down there, has the big shotgun back, evens this one up to a 2v2. The siphon goes across, like you called, he has the one chug splash. That's not going to be enough to rely on a heal off. Neither of these teams are going for heal off. We get a good old fashioned shotgun to shotgun. Who's going to battle it out? Colazo goes up off the bounce pad. The AR shots don't connect, but they don't need to, because D-Roller absolutely rolled. And this is a team that's got a whole bunch of mismatches. These are three players that haven't really played together before. We had obviously Nico, Haji, and Pandarush playing for the longest time, Rokane, Voil, and Vix, and then we also had Qua, Cod Genesis, and Shades. And all three of those teams have been broken up to form these new teams, and Rokane, Qua, and Nico are doing very well from it. They need to perform here because they're a newly formed team. This is going to be one of their only two chances to qualify into the semis because they didn't play together last week, but they're very much on pace. Like you said, they're doing big things up there on plus 70 points. There's only 7 teams right now that came into this game on above 70 points. Cozzy's a Minished and a Perta in a great spot. High ground, half-half. They also have first rotating potential on the edge of this half-half. And if they get that, that might be the recipe for the big game they need, Monster. Because 2 games to go, 28 points, that is not the pace you want to be on.
Yeah, definitely. And we talk about pacing in these series points. I mean, listen, Brezzo's team had the same issue, right? Breaking up, starting these new squads, it hurts in a lot of different ways. You lose all of your series points that you make up from those week 1 qualifiers. So if you come in with a new trio, you reset your points, right? You're coming in with a brand new team. You have to play very well, exceptionally well in the final 2 weeks if you're trying to go through on series. But more importantly, honestly, you just need a top 10. You just need a top 10. Get it out, get it in there, because otherwise you are starting way behind.
Yeah, you're tying one hand behind your back, essentially. You're trying to qualify on 2/3 the potential you could have had. And if you do it in the last week, you're fighting on 1/3 the potential. You have both hands behind your back, can still potentially fight your way out. But based on this building, I have to think potentially they just got the first rotating zone. We'll have to see, but we still see Blake and Okus in this one. I don't see Ronaldo, unfortunately. Rokane, Nico, and Qua was just talking about, they're looking like a full trio. And based on the way these teams are moving, I'm pretty sure we got our first rotating zone over here. We did. This is high ground's chance. Cozzies, a Perta, I'm Minished. I'm calling you out. I'm putting you on the spot. You need to step up now. You can't ask to be in a better position to try and have your big 2 games to come back. 29 points in the first 4. Now you need to rack up probably the victory out here in game number 5 and double that in a single game.
Yeah, they need this win. They already got a couple elims. They're above the Storm Surge. Literally the perfect recipe here now. All they have to do is close it out, play smart, and play strong. Hold this high ground and do it like a textbook, right? Read that textbook and do it. Follow the instructions. Hold height. Don't make any mistakes. You should be A-okay. It's easier said than done. We saw even in the last game, the pressure that even a newer team has, right, on these high ground holds. It's not as easy as we make it seem.
No, it's not. There's a recipe there, but a lot of things can change it. You see Colazo and Class kind of lurking beneath, trying to jump up their points. They're going to be looking to play aggressive. They're not looking the healthiest right now on the rotates, but right now, Aperta's team playing this well. They're pushing forward. They're grabbing as many anchor points as they can. They're dropping their builds down, connecting them beneath, as Qua, Rokane, and Nico right now. Feels so weird to say those 3 names without the teams attached because they've been playing with the same teams for the longest time, but honestly, this new team has found some kind of recipe. 86 points. They're jumping up massive, Monster. I have to think this has secured the placement for them. They left it to 2 weeks and they only needed 1 as they take down Polarized, one of our teams on triple digits. And then we still have Jamper, Paper, and Nosh down there too. I see Nexi, Mars, and Crumbler. So many teams that also need to step up. The focus isn't just on this high ground team. Everyone is battling it out in this one.
Yeah, Glace was taken out. Zexro still alive on the edge of the zone. He's going to find Crumbler and finish him up for the refresher there now. And again, it's up to Qua, Rokane, and Nico here. A group that got together and all of a sudden they are finding success with one another. Not something you see happen very often. This is what dreams are made of. This is what you hope would happen when you find a new team you just hope that things can be as good. All those hours and hours of preparation you put in with your previous teammates, you know, all for nothing in some regard, right? Because you have to relearn one another again, figure out these mistakes and patch it up, play a perfect game. And when you're playing against the best of the best in these late stages, it's not easy. It's up to the firepower. Cartoon's gonna go down. That means they took the craggy cliffs, but they get dethroned now. And it's up to Nico, who's by himself in this endgame instance. 10 elims already though, top 5, massive placement points coming out, and he's still in it.
He's still in it. Now, at this point, once you're a solo, he has the meds. He's only 1 tick to this 10-tick zone, but he has the shield. Can he get it off? Can he secure even third? Third, second would be massive right now. I don't want to put it against him, but trying to go against the full trio on high ground for the win could be rough. Jamper and Paper is still down. Sorry, Pamper and Paper as well are down there at the moment. Steelsy's in this as well because he's a Minished and a Perta. I put the pressure on. You're stepping up. Nico, can you do it? No zone, Nico. You're only 1 tick. Nico steps out and takes the 5 damage, and he goes down. Little bit of confusion on the way the zone was pulling. Still a phenomenal performance, but this one's closing out. 51 points. Make that 53. Gets the 2 points for the limb. Gets another one. That's 5 eliminations for this team. Paper's been knocked. That's going to be another one. I put them on the spot. I said you need to have the big game, and there it is. 7 eliminations, and the win is huge for this team.
So yeah, we already know DeRoller, Class, and Clazo are up in the top. You know, that game, they came 8th with 3 eliminations. You know, they're really far ahead. We know these guys are qualified, right? But, you know, taking a look into that 5th slot, last time we just looked back into EU, after the 5th game, the qualification was looking around 82, you know? So 82 points, but there was a huge amount of aggression in that final game, and that threshold got pushed up to around 101. So